Young Metro don't trust you, I'm gonna.
What's good, everybody? This is your boy Ced Banner, and this is my review of Power Rangers. So this, of course, is a reboot of the insanely popular phenomenon from the 90s, early 90s to mid 90s. It's gone on well past that, but of course there have been a lot of changes, cast changes, storyline changes. Most people in my generation, we're huge fans of the original cast. With all the villains, all the corny acting and one-liners, the corny special effects. It was a great part of childhood up into the mid-teen years. Real brief story just to kind of give background on how serious it was for me. And it was this serious for a lot of people back in that time. I believe it was 95, early 95 or summer of 95 when the original film was made. Of course, an adaptation of the series from Fox. And my dad had paid a lot of money and put a lot of work and planning into taking our family out to Grand Prairie, Texas to visit some family there. Everyone's all excited about going to Six Flags and doing all these tourist things. The only thing I knew was that the Power Rangers movie was coming out. And my pops was so furious with me because he had put all of this work and money into planning all these big things, for us on the trip. And I just wanted to go to the movies. But I had an Uncle Urban, who was the coolest man on the planet, who took me to see it. And I remember just being blown away in the theater because, of course, I love the show. But this movie, incorporated all types of CGI, and we had never really seen anything like that. This is the mid to early 90s. We had never seen anything like that. So I was really blown away, and just, it made me love it even more. So of course we've all grown up, and it's fun to go back and look at those old shows and that movie for the nostalgia. But of course we're not trying to see anything like that now. We're a more mature crowd, and that's what this remake, this reboot needed to be, and that's why I was hoping it would be when I heard it was being made. There was a fan-made short that was put on YouTube a couple of years ago that was rated R, and I loved it. It really just flipped Power Rangers and the whole mythos of it on its side, and it was awesome. Well, what we get here from director Dean Israelite, is a PG-13 version, so it rides the line of rated R in several scenes. Doesn't quite go there, just to be safe, but it worked for him. Start off with the acting. The Rangers themselves, you won't know them from anything, and if you do, I'm shocked. But they all do a great job. The actor who plays the Red Ranger, Jason, eerie resemblance to actor Zac Efron. That kind of bugged me the whole movie, but he did a great job. Every Ranger did an awesome job. The names and faces that we know, Zordon is played by the great Bryan Cranston, known from Breaking Bad and Malcolm in the Middle, does a great job. Elizabeth Banks does a very, very good job as Rita Repulsa. I have nothing bad to say about it. It wasn't too over the top. It was dark, it was gritty, and I really loved it. And even Alpha is voiced by Bill Hader from Saturday Night Live. That was cool also. Very cool. Different from the original show and movie, but it worked. So this film was very unconventional and broke a lot of, I guess you would say, barriers when it comes to reboots and remakes. It was a lot darker, edgier. It embraced the original, which I loved about the film. But while it embraced the original, it updated itself as well. And the entire movie, which I thought was extremely cool, played through like a great teen movie that we would have watched in the late 80s and early 90s. It was put together that way, and I thought that was very cool. Also, the movie did not play in 3D, as far as I know. It's not in 3D anywhere. And that shocked me because usually, you know, the studios are going for the cash, so they're going to put everything in 3D, even if it's corny, just to get the extra dollar. They did not do that, and I think it really paid off because it looks great as is, but it also kind of pays homage to the original, and it feels like at a lot of points you are watching the original, and I really appreciated that. The writing, the plot, on point. I mean, if you're going to reboot anything, this is the way to do it. I'm not sure. I have to think on it, but I'm feeling like this may actually be the best reboot I've seen ever. Yeah, I mean, I think this may be the best reboot as far as hitting everything the way it should, paying homage to the original, yet updating itself. There were a couple of times, and I wasn't expecting to really like this movie. I thought it would end up being a train wreck in the end. But there were a couple of times where I caught myself kind of, kind of yelling in a high pitched voice and clapping. I mean, you know, it took me back to that time in my life. So kudos to everyone involved. I have nothing negative to say about this film. Lastly, I will say the special effects, the CGI could have very easily been corny and just overdone. I didn't think it was. Everything from the Zords to the villain, I won't say who just in case you don't know, but I'm not talking about Rita, but also the uniforms, everything, Zordon, everything was done in such a way that it can't really be compared to anything else, and that's a huge accomplishment these days. So my rating for Power Rangers is it's a refreshing reboot and game changer. Like I said, this film is going to take everything you're accustomed to seeing from reboots and kind of turn it on its side, and it works. And I think it's a game changer for action films also, because this will also show other filmmakers that they can really concentrate more on character depth and still have great action to create a great film. That's all I'm going to say about it. I could, you know, this is one of those films I could talk about all night. Not going to do it because y'all ain't going to listen that long. But yeah, great movie. Go see it if you haven't already. That concludes this review. Until next time, hey.